Hi everyone, it's time to complete what we have started last time in math for 5th primary تحت رعاية وإشراف وزارة التربية والتعليم. We took last time dividing fractions and how we divide fractions, and we said that dividing is the opposite of multiplying. So if I want to find the result of a division problem, I need to know the timetable very well and start to search in it for the answer. So again, for example, if I have 25 gums and I want to distribute them on 5 people, then I will look in table 5 to find out the answer. 5 times what gives me the 25? It's times 5. Okay? Then everyone will take 5. So this is how I divide. I have to go back to the multiplication to be able to do this. Now, dividing fractions. Last time we took dividing the fractions, a fraction with a mixed number, a fraction with a decimal number, and 2 fractions together. I will give you a few examples to remind you with what we took last time. The first example is 7 over 8 divided by 21 over 16. Remember the steps we talked about before. Step 1, the first fraction stay as it is, ما بيتغيرش، ثابت في مكانه. Then I go to the division sign and I change it to multiplication sign. يعني divided will be times. After that, I move to the third step, which is the fraction, the second fraction. Here I flip it. يبقى ده بيتغير على طول. اللي تحت بيطلع فوق واللي فوق بينزل تحت. So here the answer for this question is 7 over 8, the first fraction as it is, does not change. Then the divided will be what? Yes, will be times. And the second fraction, I flip it, بقلبه. So the 16, which was at the bottom, will be now on top. And the 21, which was on top, will be now at the bottom. خلاص خلصت التغييرات اللي عندي. I start to check what I have here for simplification. So here I look at the first numerator, which is the 7. Now the first denominator, the 8, do they have any common factors? No, they don't. Then I check the other denominator, which is the 21. Okay, now do they have anything in common? Yes, of course. Both of them can be divided by 7. So 7 divided by 7 is 1, and 21 divided by 7 is 3. Then I move to the second numerator, which is here the 16. Okay, now 16 with the first denominator, which is the 8. Do they have anything in common? Yes, of course. Both of them can be divided by 8. So 8 divided by 8 is 1, and 16 divided by 8 is 2. Now I have 1 over 1 times 2 over 3. I will multiply them. The answer will be 1 over 2, and 1 times 2 over 1 times 3, which is equal to 2 over 3. Now let's move to another example. 3 over 5 divided by 36 over 25. Again, I move with the same order and the same steps. First step, do I change the first fraction? No, I don't. زي ما هو بنقله زي ما هو. So it will be 3 over 5 as it is. Now I move to the divided sign. Divided sign. هتفضل divided sign? No. I multiplied. Then after I multiplied, I flip the last fraction, or I make it upside down. So the number at the bottom will go to the top and the number at the top will go to the bottom. Now it will be 3 over 5 times 25 over 36. طيب هعمل ايه؟ برافو. Simplification. Now I check the first numerator here, which is the 3. Okay? And I look for the first denominator. Here it's 5. Do they have any common factor? في حاجة فيهم ينفع نعملها divided by؟ لا. Then I will look to the second denominator. 3 and 36. Do they have any common factor? Yes. Both of them can be divided by 3. Both of them are in table 3. So here, the first one, 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 36 divided by 3 is 12. Now, let's look at the second numerator, which is here the 25. 25 can be divided by 5. Yes, both of them are in table 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 25 divided by 5 is 5. Now I have 1 over 1 and 5 over 12. I multiply them together. 1 times 5 over 1 over 12. So it will be equals to 5 over 12. Now let's move to the last example that I used to remind you with all the cases. 5 over 6 divided by 15 over 2. Now, again, the first fraction. Will I change it? No. Then I put it as it is. The divided sign will be times, and I convert or flip the last one. It will be 2 over 15. So I will divide the 5 with 5 and the 15, which is the second denominator, by 5. It will be 3. And at the same time, I will divide the 2, the second numerator, by 2, will give me 1. And the 6 at the bottom, divided also by 2, will give me 3. So the answer will be 1 times 1 over 3 times 3. So the answer will be 1 over 9. Now, let's move to another idea. We discussed something a bit like this one last time. So I will remind you with it. You might find it easy for you. Okay. The first question, 0.6 divided by 1 over 2. Can I multiply it or divide these two values? Of course not, because we said before to multiply two values, they have to be the same, or two numbers, they have to be of the same type. So either both of them are fractions or decimal numbers. So here I will change the 0.6 into a fraction. If you remember last year, we said that I count the number of digits after the decimal point to get or to make it a fraction. Then I put this number over 10 or 100 or 1000 according to the place of the digit in the number. So here the 6 is in the first decimal place. This means that it is 6 over 10. So the answer will be 6 over 10 divided by 1 over 2. Now I follow the steps that I am used to. يعني هرجع تاني أعمل اللي كنت بعمله. The first fraction هيحصل فيه أي تغيير؟ Of course not. Stays as it is. So it will be 6 over 10 divided هتبقى times 1 over 2 هنقلبها 2 فوق 1 تحت. Then 6 over 10 times 2 over 1, and I start to simplify, or I can just multiply them and I simplify later on. So here the answer will be 12 over 10. Can I simplify this? Yes, I can. 12 and 10. Both of them can be simplified or divided by 2. Both of them have 2 as a common factor. So 12 divided by 2 is 6 and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So they are equal to 6 over 5. This is my final answer. So the answer is 6 over 5. Let's move to another example. 4 over 5 divided by 1 over 2. Here again, the 4 over 5 هتتغير? Of course not. Will stay as it is, and the divided هتبقى times. And 1 over 2, will it stay as it is? No. Then I flip it and make it upside down. Okay? Then it will be 4 over 5 times 2 over 1 equals, I have here nothing to simplify, so I will multiply them. 4 times 2 is 8. 5 times 1 is 5. So the answer is 8 over 5. Now, the other example, 1 over 2 divided by 1 over 12. The same way, the first fraction as it is, ما بيتغيرش. The divided will be times 1 over 12 upside down, 12 فوق, ال1 تحت, and I simplify the 1 اللي في النيوميريتور الأولاني. It's already simple. Then I will move to the 12, the second numerator, وأشوفها مع ال first denominator. 12, can I divide it by any number that I can divide the 2 by? Yes. Both of them are in table 2, so the 2 is a common factor for both of them. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 12 divided by 2 is 6, and 1 times 6 is 6, and 1 times 1 is 1, so the answer is 6. Divided fraction and dividing decimals by 10, 100, and 1000. This is a new idea that we will discuss now. I want to divide decimals and the fraction by 10 or 100 or 1000. What shall I do? Here in this example that we have now in front of us, 583.6 divided by 10. How many zeros do I have here? Beside the 1, I have only 1 0. In the divided, I usually move the decimal point to the left. Remember, it's to the left. And I move it by how many steps? It all depends on the number of the zeros that I divide it by. So in this one, I divided by 10, which is 1 0 only. So the answer will be 58.36. But how this happened? Why it happened? Let's go now so I can explain to you how I got this answer. We said we want to know how we got the result, like how we did last question, and why do we use this method and answer it this way. The question was 538.6 divided by 10. And we said, according to the number of the zeros that we have, we move the decimal point in the division into the left-hand side, or to the left-hand side. So here, how many zeros do I have? I have only 1 0. So I move the decimal point one place. So the answer will be 53.86. Why did I do this? Why I moved the decimal point one place in this case? This is how we did it, or why we do it. 5,386 over 10. This is equal to the value that we have here, because we said that the decimal point equal 10. So this number 538.6 is exactly the same as 5,386 over 10. And then here divided by 10. We said all the whole numbers in the world, they are fractions, but the whole number, or the number that we have, is a fraction over 1. So the 1 is hidden. Now I want to do what already I did before when I used to deal with dividing two fractions by each other. We said that the first fraction stay as it is. So this one stays as it is. 5,386 over 10. Then the divided sign, I will change it into multiply. And the last fraction, of course, I flip it, or I turn it upside down. So the 1 will be on the top and the 10 is at the bottom. Now I multiply the fractions that I have by each other. So here 5,386 over 10 times 1 over 10 equals 5,386 times 1 is 5,386. 10 times 10 is 100. According to the number of zeros I have here, I can put a decimal point in the number on top. How many places do I have here, or how many zeros do I have here? I have 2 zeros. Then I will put the decimal point after 2 places, which is the units, then the tens. Then the answer is 53.86, and this is exactly, as you see, the same answer as this one. And this is how we got this answer. So every time we answer such a question, whether it is divided by 10 or 100 or 1,000, I don't have to go through all of these steps. That's why I just tell you to move the decimal point according to the number of zeros I have there. But this is where it all came from. Now let's go back to our examples. So now we know where this idea came from, or why do we have to answer it this way. Again, according to the number of zeros, I move the decimal point to the left. Now, if I divide the decimal I have by, or the decimal number by 100. Example, 2,473.6 divided by 100. Here, I have how many zeros now? I have 2 zeros in the 100. And I want to divide 2,473.6 by this 100. Okay? Then the decimal point will move to the left or to the right. Remember, this is division. So in the division, we have to move the decimal point to the left. And how many places I'm going to move it? I have 2 zeros here, so I will move it 2 places. Then it will be 24.736. I moved the decimal point 2 places to the left. Now let's try it with the 1,000. 2,583.9 divided by 1,000. How many zeros do I have in the 1,000? Excellent, 3 zeros. Now, I have to move the decimal point how many places? 3 places, because I have 3 zeros. Should I move it to the left or to the right? Oh, I can't remember. Yes, to the left, because in divided it is to the left. So here the answer will be 2.5839. I moved the decimal point 3 places to the left, okay? Now, we have to find the answer for each of the following. The first example, 75.23 divided by 100. In 100, how many zeros do I have? I have 2 zeros. And, okay, divided to the left or to the right? To the left. Then the answer will be here 0.7523 because I moved the decimal point 2 places to the left. Then I moved to the other one. Here 912.7 divided 1000. How many zeros do I have? I have 3 zeros. Then I will move the decimal point 3 places also to the left. Then I'll take my decimal point and I move it 3 places to the left. Then the answer will be 0.9127. Okay, now let's move to the third example. 0.524 divided by 10. Here, how many zeros do I have? I have only 1. Okay, then I will move the decimal point 1 place to the left. So the answer will be 0.0524, and this is my answer. Now, dividing these examples, I will divide them. 3.54 divided by 10. 10, 1 place, divided to the left. Then it will be 0.354. The other example, 4.8 divided by 100. 2 zeros, 2 places. To the right or to the left? To the left. Then the answer will be 0.048. Why? Because here, when I moved the decimal point 1 place, it came before the 4. I have nothing else. What shall I do with the other 0? I add a 0 in the empty space that I have no number in. So it will be 0.048. Now, another example, 546 divided by 100. As we said before, every whole number is a fraction, but the 1 is hidden. Also, every whole number is a decimal number, but 0.0 is crossed because no need for it. It has no meaning. So here, I will move the decimal point, which is already hidden, 2 places. So the answer will be 5.46. Another example, 8 divided 1000. The same idea. Here I have 3 zeros, then I have 3 places, and I move to the left. I have only 8. Then I start to count from the 8. So, as you see here, 8 with a 0. Then I have 2 zeros. I don't know what to do with them. I open 2 places for them, and then I put a decimal point. So it will be 0.0008. Okay? So this is going to be my answer, and this is why I did it. Okay? So the answer will be 0.008. Now, let's choose the correct answer from among the brackets. From between the brackets, here I have 987, 9,870, 9.87, 0.987, and I want to choose a number from them. The question is 98.7 divided by 10. How many zeros are there in the 10? Only one, and divided is to the left. So I will move the decimal point from its original place one more place to the left, so the answer will be 9.87. Now let's move to the second question. 72.14 divided by 100. How many zeros do I have? I have 2 zeros, and divided sign, move to the left, then I will remove the decimal point. I will move it 2 places to the left, so the answer will be 0.7214. The third question that we have today, C, 125 divided by 1000. So here I have 3 zeros, then 3 decimal places, and divided to the left. Then I will count. The 5 is one place, the 2 is another place, and the 1 is the third place. Then the answer will be 0.125. Now I have a question before the end of our episode today. Sami bought 10 kilograms of fruits for LE 47.5, and we want to calculate the price of 1 kilogram. The answer will be 47.5 divided by 10 equals, how many places do we have to move our decimal point? 1 place, because I have only 1 zero in the 10, so it will be 4.75 LE. The price of a kilo is 4.75 LE. I was glad to be with you today. I hope you understood the lesson well. Study well, and see you next time.